Good evening. In previous session, we have seen about the concepts of list. In today's session, we are going to see the concept of tuple. So already we have seen briefly about the tuples when we are seeing the concept of data types. Now let us see what is meant by a tuple. So if you are going to consider a list, it is nothing but a group of values that are going to be present within a square brackets and are separated with a comma. So this is called as a list. Okay. Within a square brackets, if you are going to write any type of elements, heterogeneous type of elements can be taken in the list. Now we are going to consider about a tuple. Tuple means it is also a group of elements that are going to be enclosed inside a parenthesis with commas, which is separated with commas. So this is called as a tuple. Okay. Now let us see in detail about a tuple. So a tuple in Python is same as a list, except only one main point we have to discuss. That is, if you are going to consider a list, list is a mutable. List is mutable. This tuple is immutable. So this is the only important point to be understand about the list and tuple. Only the difference between the list and tuple is that we cannot change the values of tuple once we are going to create this tuple. But if you are going to create a list, we can change the value. That means, so we can say this one list as what? Mutable. But this tuple is what? Immutable. That means if you are going to create a tuple once, we cannot change the values of that tuple or contents of that tuple. So we can say that tuple as a immutable. That means when we have to use this one, just I will write the point here. Tuple is immutable. Tuple is immutable. That means contents cannot be changed. Cannot be changed. Okay, right. So if we want to represent a tuple, generally we will use parentheses and separated with commas. The elements are going to be separated with commas. We can also represent tuple with another way also, we will see it. But generally we will use parentheses, and inside that we are going to place the elements which is separated by the commas. Okay. Now let us see examples of this one. So first I will take a tuple. Just I will take a empty tuple. I want to create an empty tuple. If you want to create an empty tuple, just keep open bracket and closed bracket. So if I press enter, just let us see what is there in T1. So T1 indicates what? Empty. So is it a type of tuple? Let us check. Type of T1. So it is going to give you what? Class tuple. Now I want to create a group of elements in a tuple. That is, let us take 10, 20, 30 and 40. So here see, I have created what? Group of elements. So if I print T1, we are going to get those four values. Now, the other way of creating tuple is without parentheses also we can create the tuple. So here what we have created, see in this case I have created a empty tuple so that I have not written any values inside that brackets parentheses. Now in this concept we have created a group of elements for a tuple. Now I want to create a tuple without any parentheses. Just see here 10 I will take some 40, 50, 60 and 70. So now what happens, we may think that how we can assign the four elements to one variable, we may think in that way. But whenever we are going to write multiple values to a variable, by default it is going to be considered as a tuple. If I print T2, you can observe that it is placed inside a brackets parenthesis. If it placed inside a parenthesis, the meaning of that one is what? It is a tuple. So let us see the type of T2 also, so that we can clearly understand about the tuple. So see how we can create a tuple by using parenthesis, or without using the parenthesis also we can create this tuple. So now next point, that is, if I want to create a tuple with only one element, let us take 10 here. So see, here if I create in this way, let us see what happens. If I print t, the output will be 10. So here we have to observe clearly that when I want to create a tuple with one element, if I write in this way, you can observe what output as 10, but output as not in this way, it is not coming within the brackets, within the parentheses. So now let us check what is the type of t, so that we will get a clarity on this one. If I type the type of t, then we are going to get the type of t as int. So see, reason is here it is going, if I want to place a single element in a tuple, generally we have to represent with having the trailing value should be comma, that is t equal to, I want to insert only one element, okay, insert that element, and it has to be ended with comma, so that your Python interpreter can understand that this is a tuple. So one point I want to tell you that because of because of parentheses, tuple is not going to be recognized. Because of the commas, your tuple is going to be recognized. So see, if I want to find the type of the t, you can observe the type of t as a tuple. So here you have to understand the difference between this one and this one. So if you want to create a tuple which is having only one element, compulsory we have to write comma at the last of that value, after that value. So is it the only way? So we can also create a equal to 10 comma also, no problem. Here if I see type of a, so what happens, we are going to get it as a tuple only. That means if you observe this 10 comma and 10 comma here we have written inside a parenthesis, but here we have not written inside a parenthesis. So what you can observe, comma makes a tuple but not the parenthesis. So comma is going to play a major role in our tuple concept. So we have to understand what comma makes a tuple but not the parenthesis, because without having the parenthesis also we can create a tuple. Already we have seen that concept here. Without parenthesis I have created a tuple. Here also without the what we can say, without having the parenthesis we have created a tuple. So this comma represents the tuple but not the parenthesis. Okay, right. Now I will show you some, I want to show you some valid tuples. I will write some examples so that we have to understand which one is valid or not. Okay, t equal to empty, and next I want to take t equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. Next I want to take t equal to 10. Next I want to take t equal to 10 comma. Next t equal to 10, and next t equal to 10 comma. Next t equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40, and last t equal to, for example, 10 comma 20. Now I want to find the valid tuples in the given examples. So is it a valid tuple or not? Yes, it is a empty tuple, as we have seen now. So is it a valid tuple or not? Yes, already we have seen the example. So if you are going to allocate many, what we can say, variables, many values to a single variable, then by default it is going to consider as a tuple. So it is a valid one. So this is invalid. Why I am saying invalid? I am checking for tuples. This is not a tuple. It will be considered as which type? Int type. Okay. Next, if I consider this example, it is a valid tuple. Next, this one, it is a int type. Next, this is also valid. Next, this one is also a valid. This one is not valid. Reason is what? It is a list, because here we are having what? Square brackets. Okay. So square bracket, by seeing these square brackets, we can understand this one as a list. But by seeing parenthesis, we should not say it as a tuple. Okay, compulsory it will not be a tuple. Maybe it may be a tuple, but it is not compulsory. If I place parenthesis, it will not be a tuple. When I can say something as a tuple, if group of values are there with commas, see here, group of values are there with commas. So we can say this one as a tuple. Here also what happens? Group of values are there which is separated with commas, but this is enclosed with parentheses. If you are not having parentheses also, it will be considered as tuple only. Okay, next point. Now let us see a homogeneous, whether it takes homogeneous elements or heterogeneous elements. Let us see. So 10 comma, here I am going to take one string. Next I want to take some floating point number. That's it. So see, if I print A, it is going to print all the elements. That means by seeing this example, we can understand what your tuple is going can have heterogeneous values. That means we can store different type of data in our tuples. Okay. Next example, let us see. So here, when we have to use this tuple, next point is what? When we have to go for this concept of tuples. So first point is what? First point is our tuple is immutable. Next point is it can store heterogeneous type of values. And next point we have to see what? If you see this one, whatever the order I am going to give, in the same order it is going to store. That means insertion order is preserved. Okay, insertion order is preserved, right? Preserved. Next one is okay, here generally we will use parenthesis. Generally, I am not saying it is compulsory. Generally we are going to use parenthesis to represent the tuple. And if you want to compare list and tuple, here your list is mutable and our tuple is immutable. So here we can say read only version of list. Read only version of list. Why we can say this one as a read only version of list? Reason is list can be read and write. We can read the values and we can write the values into the list. But if you are going to consider a tuple, only we can read the values. We cannot modify the values in list because our list is what? Immutable. Okay, so that we can say that what? Read only version of list is nothing but what? A tuple. Okay, right. Now let us try to change the values of our what we can say tuple. Okay, right. Now let us see. I want to change the values. That is, in A I am having 3 values, so that I will try to change A of 1 equal to 20, for example. Now see, so here we have to understand this error. That is what? Type error. Type error means here tuple object does not support item assignment. That means I cannot assign the values to the tuple once it is created. Reason is what? Already we know. The reason is tuple is immutable. Once if we are going to create a tuple, we cannot modify it. Okay, right. Next point. So I am having one list. I am having some list of elements I am having. Now I want to convert this list of elements into a tuple. Okay, just I have to write some variable equal to tuple function I am having. Tuple is a function which is going to convert any sequence into tuple type. Any sequence into tuple type. Let us see. So if I see type of L, it is which type? L is which type? List type. Next, if I see type of T, it is which type? Tuple type, because I have converted the list into tuple by using the tuple function. Okay, so tuple is a function that is used to convert any sequence of types to tuple. Let us see one more example. S equal to, here I am going to take Shiva and I want to convert it into a tuple. Just I have to write tuple S. So if I see T, what happens? It is going to be separated into individual characters. So this is the concept of tuple. Now just I will take one small example and I will write a program for this one only. Okay, I will take two tuples. I will take two tuples For example, I'm going to get a equal, okay, o equal to, just to find the odd numbers, I'm going to write this one, tuple of I want to take range of some elements that are from 1 to 11. So step is what? 2. That means here what happens? From one value it will be considered up to 10, and the step is what? 2. That means first it will consider 1, next 3, next 5, next 7, and next 9. Right, completed. Now if I want to use same concept for even numbers, how I can use? Just I will do same thing, but I will start from 0 and I will take up to 11, no problem, and step is 2. So if I print here, if I print wo and if I print e, you can observe what? In one tuple we are going to have odd numbers, in another tuple we are going to have what? Even numbers. Okay. Okay. Now you can observe that. That means what? Here I want to show you that we can write any sequence of characters in this any sequence of elements in this bracket for a tuple function. I want to show that. That's it. So see here what happens in first tuple. What happens? Only odd numbers has been printed. In next tuple we got what? Only even numbers. Okay. So these are the basics of your tuple. Now let us see how the elements of list is going to be accessed. Okay. So same already we have seen by using the concept of how to access the elements of a tuple. Okay, generally in two ways. First one is by using the concept of index. Second one is by using the concept of slicing. Okay, right. So first let us see about this index concept. Already we know about this indexing. I am telling only for accessing. That means what? Reading only. I am not telling you to write anything here. Okay, right. How to use this one? Just I will create a small tuple here. Already let us take t here. Okay, let us execute this one. Same thing I will do. That means in our tuple we are going to have what now? In t we are having what? 5 elements are there. Now I want to perform some operation on this one. T of 0. We know that we are going to get what? Value 10. In the same way we have seen the same concept in our strings and same list also. Okay, t of 2 means it is going to give 30. Here one point we have to understand is what? The index starts from 0 only. Okay, so next if you try to give, for example, here how many are there? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you are going to give any index other than this, we are going to get what? Index error. Okay, next if you want to give index must be what? Only integer. Index must be always an integer. If we try to give any other value, for example t 12.5, so it will give you what? Tuple indices must be integers or slices, not float. Okay, so this is about how to access the elements of a tuple by using the index. Now let us see about, okay, I want to show you the negative indexes also here. Already you know about negative indexes. So if I am going to create a list of elements, some t equal to 10, 20, 30, and 40 and 50. Same concept what we have seen in our list. That is what? A list of elements, group of elements are going to be created here, and from left to right, that is from here, positive indexes are there. From here, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5 will be there. And the name of this one is what? T. That means what? If I give -2, we should get what? 40. According to our tuple, that is what? T of -4. So 20 we got here. Reason is what? -4 means what? -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay. I think here yes, -2 means we should get what? 40. Right. Let us see -2. Okay, if you write -2, we are going to get what? 40. So this is about if you are going to give any index out of the values. Same here also we are going to get what? Tuple index out of range. This is what, by using the negative index also we can access the members of our tuples, right? Now let us go to our same concept, that is slicing concept. As we have seen our strings and list, we can also apply the same concept to our slicing. Just I will write a small example because already we know about this concept. So directly I will explain. So just by taking one example, okay, directly I will execute here itself. So just I want to take one list, sorry, one tuple. I want to take one tuple. So here I want to take some characters. Just I want to take some characters and I want to use some slice operators. Okay, slice operator. Okay, just I want to take some large string so that we will get we can apply many ways by using slice operator. Okay, right. Now see, I have created one tuple. Now I am going to apply this slicing on this one. If I apply just as empty, so what happens? Something should be there in that. Okay, right. Now first one, I want to use only one element. If I use only one element, what happens? It treats it as a index, not as a slice operator. If you want to use a slice operator, compulsory colon should be used inside the square brackets. Okay, let us see by using at least one colon. So see what happens. If I use at least one colon also, it understands it. It understands that as a slice operator, so that it has given what? I have not given any begin. I have not given any end. So by default, begin will be what? 0. End will be what? Last element of the tuple. Okay. By default, step will be what? Only 1. So just I will take some more examples. So 0 to 5. Here you can understand. Here what I have taken? I have taken starting element and ending element. That is what? Begin element and end element. But here up to what it has to print? See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means only up to 4 it will print. Because in previous sessions we have seen what? End is always, it will take up to n minus 1 only. That means only up to 4 only it will be printed. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to R only it will print. Okay. Otherwise, to remember it as in easy way, just think that number of elements are what? 5. Okay. Index up to 5 it is going to give. Right. Next one is, let us take some index out. That means what? I want to take the index which is not present. What happens? Nothing will happen. Reason is what? Just it will go up to the index what it is available. That is what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will go up to there and remaining elements are not there. So it will print up to that particular location. Next, if I am not going to take end, what happens? Up to last element it will print. We know that. If you are not going to take start and I am going to take only up to end, that is 7 for example. So what happens? Up to index what? 6 only it will print, because n minus 1 it is going to print. That is what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I take up to 6, what happens? It will print only up to a. Okay. So just this point should be remembered. Generally we will take what? We will think that 0 to 5, the values are taken from 0 to 5, but n will be always what? N minus 1 it is going to consider up to n minus 1. Next, let us see about the concept of step here. So just I will take all in this way. If you take in this way, the output will be same. If I take only one column also, output will be same. Okay, because the default values will be taken in both the cases. But now I want to take step as 2. I have not taken starting value and I have not taken ending value. Step as 2 means what? By default, starting value will be 0, ending value will be end of the tuple. So what happens? Step here, what happens? Step by default one. That means what? First character, next it will go to here, next it will go to here, and so on it will take. But now what I am telling, I am going to step as 2. So first one will be considered. Next, second, this is not going to be considered. Step 2 means what? If I come from here to here, it is step 1. If I go here to here, step 2. Okay, that means what? Step 2 means first it will print S, next it will print V. From here, step 1 means A, step 2 means R. So it will be printed. Next, from here, step 1 means this one, step 2 means this one. So you can see the answer. That is what? SVRM is going to be printed. So this is about step. let us take some negative values also. Okay, let us take some -1. Already you know, if I print -1, it is going to take from backward direction. That means what? From right to left direction is going to print all the elements of our tuple. Okay, let us see. So what happens? In reverse direction is going to print. Okay, right. Now I want to take some list of elements, some minus values. That is -1 to -6, for example. Okay, what happens? In reverse order it is going to print. Okay, see here what is printed here? S of -1 to -6. Let us see what happens here. So here what I have stored in a tuple. Sorry, okay, just I will draw here. That is, we are having in tuple what? S, I, V. Sorry, I will take in paint. Okay, see here, I will take a tuple where we are going to have 10, 20. I think I have taken Shivaram. Sorry. S, I, V, A, R, A, M. Okay, directly I am going to take. All these are what? Individual characters, or we can consider it as strings. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From here, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So here what I have taken, from -1 I have to print -1 to -6. That is what? -1 to -6 means it will take up to -6, or -6 plus 1, it will take only up to -6 plus 1. That means the values that are going to be considered are MARAV. So MARAV will be considered. So this point should be understood. When I am going to consider from backward direction, end value will be what? N plus 1. It will become N plus 1. When I am coming from left to right, that is forward direction, we are going to consider N minus 1. That is, in this case, if I am not going to take any step, here I have taken some step. It is what? Positive step. That means we are coming from left direction to right direction. So that here what happens? N value I have not taken. So no problem here. Let us see where we have taken N value. Here I have taken N value. If I take up to 8, it will print up to what? Up to 7 only. Let us take this one. 0 to 5. If I write 0 and 5 here, it will take only up to 4. Let us see that one. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. See, up to only 4 it has printed. That means what? If I'm not going to write any step, by default it is going to consider only forward direction. But if you are going to write some negative value here, that indicates reverse direction. Reverse direction means what? From right to left. So whenever you are going to consider reverse direction, then N value will be always, it will act as, sorry, we will consider N plus 1. That means here what is N value? -6. So -6 plus 1 will become what? -6 plus 1 will become -5. So we have to consider up to what? -1 to -5 in reverse order, because I have given a step as what? -1. So the values are going to print it as what? MARAV. So that we are going to get MARAV as the output of our program. Okay, right. This is about how to access the elements of our tuple. Now let us see tuple versus immutability. That means I want to check what is the concept of immutability. So here tuples are immutability means, once if you are going to create any tuple, then I cannot increase the size of that tuple, and the contents of your tuple also cannot be changed. If the element, let us consider, if the element is itself a mutable data type like list, then it can be modified. Okay, just I will take one example so that you will get clarity on that one. So see, just I am going to take one tuple. Listen carefully, this point is important, where you may lead, it may lead to some confusion. So just I will take 10 comma 20 comma 30, okay, and 40 I am going to take. Here what happens? No problem, if I print T, we are going to get all elements. But if I try to change any element of the tuple, okay, that is I want to place t of 2 as 60, for example, what happens? Can I change the content of a tuple? No. So that we are going to get the error. We are having the clarity up to here only. But now what I am telling means, if what tuple can contain? Tuple can contain any type. But generally we are going to take what? I am going to take strings and numbers only, integer type only. But we can take any type. So now what I am going to take means, I am going to take some integer numbers. I am going to take some strings, and I will take some other type, that is what list type also I can take here. So in this list what I'm going to write 30 comma 40 comma 50. This point should be clear for you because it is an important point to understand. So see, so here, so now what happens? If I print t, all elements are going to print it, there is no problem. But now if I try to change any value t of for example 1, I am going to take equal to 50, I want to modify it, what happens? We are going to get error. Same concept what we have seen here, I have shown here also. But now see, what is the index of this one? 0. This one 1, 2, 3, and this entire list is what? 4. If I print t of 4, we are going to get what? 30, 40 and 50. Now the point is your list is mutable or immutable? Your list can be modified. That means if I select a list in a tuple, I can modify that, no problem. Once again I am repeating, if I select a list inside a tuple, so this is what? A list inside a tuple. So list can be modified? Yes, list can be modified, but tuple cannot be modified. That means what? All these things will come under our tuple elements. This list is also comes under tuple element, but internally, that is what? Inside a list I can modify. I cannot modify. See, observe this one. I cannot modify a tuple. T of 4 means it is a tuple. If I change it to some value, we are going to get what? An error. But I am changing what? I want to change the elements of a list. I don't want to change the list location. I don't want to replace this one. If I try to replace this one, as this list is present inside a tuple, it is not possible to change. We are going to get an error here. But now see, if I type t of 4, then what happens? This list is going to be selected. Inside that one, can I modify or not? Now I have selected a list. Can I modify a list? Yes. As list is a mutable, I can change the values of that list. So just I will take t of t index is what? 4, and in that index is 0. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means this is selected first, and 0 indicates what? 30 is selected now. In that location, I want to place with a 60. Now see, is there any error? No error here, because one point we have to understand. I am not going to change the content of direct element inside a tuple, but I am going to change the content of a list which is present inside a tuple. This point is very important. Okay. Now if I print t, see, observe here, the list, the value is modified here. Where I have modified? I have modified inside a list which is present in a tuple. If I try to modify this one, we are going to get an error. But I have modified the element which is present inside a list which is present inside a tuple. Okay, right. This is about uh, accessing the elements of a list, and about immutability also. So you have to observe this one. Okay, that is what, once again I will briefly explain this concept because it may lead to some confusion. Now observe this one. Just I will take some L or T equal to 10, some Shiva, some values I am going to take, some 10.5, and here I am going to take some 40, 50 and 60. Now one point we have to understand, what are the elements of the tuple? 10, Shiva, 10.5, and this is an element. Entire thing is an element. Individual elements we should not consider here. This is one, this is second one, this is third one, and this is fourth one. What are the indexes? 0, 1, 2, 3. If I try to change this 0, there will be a problem because 0 belongs to what? A tuple. So I cannot change this location. 0th location cannot be modified. Can I change first location? No, because it belongs to tuple. Can I change this second location? No, because it belongs to tuple. Can I change this entire list in the third location? Can I change? No, because it belongs to what? Tuple. But can I change the elements that are present inside a third location? That means what? I cannot change this entire thing. But if I want to modify the elements inside a list, yes, it is possible. The reason is this is what a list which is immutable, sorry, which is a mutable thing, so that I can modify that. Okay, right. This is about the concept of immutability versus our tuple. Okay. Now next concept is what already here t is what, if I print t, it is assigned to some other tuple. If you want to reassign the t, that means I want to assign some more values here for t. Now what happens if I find t? What happens? New values are going to be assigned. That means what, reassignment concept is applicable for any string, no problem. Not only for any data type, not only for this tuple. That means what, initially it is pointing for this tuple. Okay, after that what I am doing, I am going to create one more object for this t, then automatically a new values will be stored in this t. This concept is nothing but what, reassigning the tuple. Okay, right. Very important point what we have seen here. Compulsory this concept should be understood by you. Okay, right. Now let us see a small example. That is, let us take t equal to, here I am going to take a tuple, some 4 comma 2 comma 3 comma, let us take 6 comma 5. Now you have to understand the concept here. If I try to change the value of 1, is it possible or not? 1 means 0 1, 2 value, can I modify it? No. Okay, why I am repeating the same thing means it is important, so that we have to understand this point. Next, can I modify t of 2? Is it possible? It is not possible, so we are going to get an error. This is what, 3. Can I modify 3? It is not possible. Okay, because the list should be there in that location. That location element will not be cannot be removed, and we cannot insert a new element there. But what can I do? Inside that list I can modify, that is t of 3 of 0 equal to, just I will take one string, that is modified element. Okay, just I will write modified element. Then what happens if I print t? What happens? So this is a modified element. Before it is what? Before it is, I think some 6. Now it becomes what? Whatever the element I have inserted, that is placed here. Okay, right. It can be done. Okay. Next concept. So what are the different type of operators that can be applied on this? What are the mathematical operators that can be applied on these tuples? So same, plus and, we can say plus and into is nothing but repetition operator. So let us directly take two tuples. One is 10 comma 20 comma 30. Next I want to use a concatenation symbol between these two. Here I am going to take 40 comma 50 comma 60. So when I am going to press enter, these two tuples are going to be concatenated, or we can say it as a combined. Finally we are going to get only one tuple. Okay, so which is combination of first tuple and second tuple. If we want to do in this way also, that is what, t1 equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30, we can take this one. Next t2 equal to again 40 comma 50 comma 60, and later if you want to take t3 equal to t1 plus t2, in this way also we can take, no problem. We are going to get the same answer, but here the tuples are going to be stored in some way, some variables. That's it. There is no change between this one and this one. Okay, but just we are going to store the tuples in some variables. That's it. Okay. Next, let us see if we want to use this concatenation symbol with tuples. Compulsory. See, compulsory. Both things should be a tuples. Let us see whether it has to be tuples or not. Plus 3. What happens? can only concatenate a tuple, not int, because it acts as what? Int. So now once again I will take what? Let us take brackets. So I think that it is a tuple. But what happens? Again, we are not going to get it. Reason is, if I write inside a bracket a single element, how it should be? It should be ended with comma. So that what happens? Now it is going to be concatenated. Okay, you can observe that. Okay, right. So compulsory when you are going to concatenate, see, whenever you are going to take a concatenation symbol with this tuple, compulsory other type should be also what? Tuple only. So this is about concatenation. If you take the concatenation symbol with the list also, compulsory what should be there? Other second one should be a list only. If we take with strings, second type should be string only. Both the types should be same. But now let us go to repetition operator. That is what? Into. Okay. If I am going to take a repetition operator with tuple, one should be tuple type, other should be numerical type. So what happens? Same tuple is going to be repeated 3 times. Why it is going to be repeated 3 times? Because I have given here 3. Okay. This is the concept of mathematical operators that can be applied on our tuple. So now let us see about nested tuples. So what is meant by nested tuple? A tuple that is going to be used inside another tuple. Then it is called as what? A nested tuple. Okay. Let us take one small example here. So let us take S equal to some Shiva, comma. I want to take some 10, comma 20, comma, and I want to take some elements 2, comma 3, and inside. Okay, I will take one more tuple here, 10, comma 20, or let us take some other values like 40, comma 50. Now if I press enter, it is going to store in the form of a tuple. Okay, so this is, see what? This is what? A tuple inside a tuple. This concept is called as what? Nested tuple. How I have to access nested things? Already we know that. So by using the index here, 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is what? First index is 3. In that 3 again we are having two indexes, 0 and 1. Here also this index is what? 4. If this index is 0, this index is 1. That means if I want to access the value 40, what I have to do? First, okay, first I have to write what? S of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. S of 4 I have to write first index. When I write S of 4, we are coming to this tuple. Okay. Next, in that what I am having how many indexes? 0 and 1. So I have to write what? Just I have to write 0 here. So if I press enter, directly the element that is present inside a tuple is going to be selected. Inside a nested tuple is going to be selected. So this is about a nested tuple. Okay. Right. Now I have created one tuple. S is there already a tuple. Now I want to delete that tuple. Okay, let us see if I delete a tuple, how to delete that tuple. Just I am going to use a keyword called as del s. So already in S we are having some elements. If I want to delete that tuple, I have to use what? Del. Okay, before that I will explain about none also. So S equal to none. Now what happens? S is present, but elements of S are not present. So if I press enter, nothing is there. Why? I have made it as a none, so that with for S no elements are there. If I am going to create once again this one, see, S is there now. Now already you have understood about none. If I write none, S is pointing to none now. All the elements which it is pointed before has been removed. Now I want to delete S. Okay, that means what? S is deleted entirely. If I try to print S, what happens? We are going to get S is not there. Okay, that means just I will draw a diagram for this. S is there initially with some elements. Okay, 10, 20, 30 for example. So internally for this, space is going to be created and those are going to be stored in some memory location. Who is pointing to this memory location? S is pointing. Now I have written a step called as S equal to none. When I write S equal to none, it is pointing to some elements. So now I am saying what? You have to point to none. Now it is pointing to what? None. That means what happens? This reference is going to be removed for this object. Now if this is not going to be referred by anything, so automatically your garbage collector is going to remove this object. Now if I ask S, what it is going to give? None. That means it is not, it going to give nothing. Okay, right. What about delete? Delete means initially it is having some list of tuple of elements. So if I apply del s, then what happens? The compulsory s will be removed and also object will be removed. That means if I type yes, what happens? Is it there? Is s is there? Not there. So we are going to get what? An error saying that name s is not defined because I have deleted that. So that s is also not present. But when we are going to make s as a none, s is there, the reference is there, but with that, for that there is no object. So that when we are making it as a none, reference will be there. When we are going to apply delete, both reference and object are going to be removed. This is about how to delete a tuple. Now let us see about the methods that can be applied to our tuple. So just I will be fast because already we have seen these methods. Some more methods are the same type of methods are available here also. I will show you fastly. Okay, just I will take a tuple, some a equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. Okay, right, taken. If I want to find the length of the tuple, so just I have to use length of a, as we have seen in a previous session also, for list also the same. So if we are going to get what? 4. So len is a function which returns you the length of the string. That means the how many elements are there, the size of the tuple it is going to give you, size of the tuple or size of the string or size of the, you can say it may be anything. Let us take size of s is there. I want to type len of s. So what happens here? It is going to give for string also. In the same way, length is going to give the length of any sequence. Okay, in the same way tuple also. Next one, I want to find the count of the elements, a count of particular value. Let us take 10 comma 30 comma 40 comma 80 comma 60 for example, comma 40. Now I want to find number of tens that are present in my tuple. So just I will write count of 10. So this indicates what? I want to count number of tens. From where you want to count? I want to count from a. So you have to write what? A dot count of 10. So what happens now? From a, it will check for number of tens in that a. See what happens? Number of tens, how many? 2. So 1 and 2. In the same, if I ask for 80, how many 80s are there? Only 1 is there. So it will print what? That particular count. This is about count. Count is going to give you what? It is going to return number of times a specified element is present in the tuple. So we can write a program for this one, no problem. But just I'm not going to write anything here because already we have seen the same example in our previous sessions also. Okay, right. Next, I want to find the index. So just I will take some small. Just see here, just I will take one string and I want to find the indexes of that. 1 minute. Okay, see here, I will take this tuple. Okay, t is created, a tuple is created here, and I want to find the index of, from where I want to find, from t. In t I want to find the index of Shiva. Okay, what happens? Is Shiva is there or not? Yes, it is there, so it will give the index. What is the index? 0 1 2. So it has given what? Index is going to return a index of the specified element. So now just I want to write duplicates also. Let us consider 10 comma 20. Again the same things I want to repeat. Okay, just the same things I want to take. Right, same elements I want to take. Now see, now what happens? So see, I can also find for inner this one also, inner list, that is nested elements also, that is t of, this is what, 0 1 2 3 4, t of 4 dot index of 30. I want to find the index of 30. See, in t of 4, that means what? This list is going to be selected now. Inside that, what is the index of 30? 0 it is going to give. Okay, in this way also we can select. Next one, I can also have start and end values here. That is t dot, just I want to find index of, I want to find what? Index of 10. Index of 10 from, I will take from a 0 1 2, from second location I want to take. Now see what happens. It has given me 5. Why it has given me 5? That means I told to your interpreter that please find out the index of 10 starting from 2. That means this is 0, 1, 2. From here it starts checking what 10. So here 10 is, okay, what is the index of this one? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Checking starts from here, but the index of 10 will not be changed. Every time the index of 10 which is present in the tuple will be always 5 only. Okay, so it gives me what? 5. But I am checking from 2. I am checking from 2, so that just it will start checking from here and it founds 10 here, so that it gives the index of that 10. So if I want to write the n value also, that is t dot index of, I want to find 10 from 2 up to 4 only, up to 5 let us write. So what happens? You are not going to get that element. Reason is starting value is what? 2. Starting index is 2. That is, it start checking from here up to where it will check 5. You may think that it is a 5, but it checks only up to 4. 5 minus 1. That is what? This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. Is there any 10? 10 is not available. So we are going to get what? An error. So 10 is present here or 10 is present here, but that indexes I have not selected, that range I have not selected. So in this I have not found that element, so that I got a value error. Okay, now one more thing I want to tell you. Here 30 is there. You may think that 30, if I find, let us see here, t dot index of 30 I will write. Just I will write what? 30. See what happens? You are going to get value error. You may think that, sir, it is already present in the tuple, but it is not present directly inside a tuple. Inside a tuple, there is a list. Inside a list, it is there, but it is directly not available to the tuple. You have to understand this one. So you may think that 30 is there, sir. It has to print some, what is that? 4 of 0. It will not print in that way. Okay. Directly, if the element is found, it will give the index. It will not give the nested indices. Okay. Right. If the element is not found, when we are going for the indexes, it is going to give you a value error. Okay, right. Next one, I want to show you about a sorted method. As we have seen in previous session, same concept, sorted method. So one point I want to tell you that if I take some elements a 20 comma 10 comma 5 50 comma 23 comma 65 comma 89, I am going to take. These are what? Tuple of elements. That is what the group of elements inside a tuple. Now if I apply sort, listen carefully, if I apply a sort method, what happens? Generally in yesterday's class we have seen, if I apply a sort method, what happens? The elements of this will be changed. The elements of this a will be sorted and the elements will be stored in this a only. Okay, in yesterday's class we have seen. If I apply the same concept to the tuple, what happens? If I apply sort method to the tuple, the tuple of elements, that means what? The elements that are present inside a tuple are going to be changed. Is it possible to change the list of elements in our tuple? It is not possible. Reason is what? Our tuple is immutable, so that we are not having the sort method for tuple, but we are having commonly what? We are having a sorted function is there. When I'm going to apply sorted function, what it is going to give? It is not going to modify the tuple, just it is going to give the a group of elements that are present inside a tuple in sorted order. That's it. Yesterday we have seen the same concept. Okay, just I will write what? For I in sorted of, just I will write what? Which elements has to be sorted? A. Here the elements of A will not be changed. It will not be sorted. But while printing, while giving, when this for loop is going to give, what happens? It will take all these elements and it will know the order. So that first it will give 10, next it will give 20. In that order it will give. Okay. So that if I store and execute this program, you are going to get the answer as sorted order only. That is what? 10, 20, 23, 50, 65 and 89. Because here I am not not modifying this A. If I try to do that, let us see. If I try to do that, that means if I apply directly, I write here. If I apply sort of A, that means I am trying to modify the tuple here. Let us see what happens here. Directly it will say what? Name error. Name sort is not defined for tuple. Okay. That means it is not going to give anything, because sort means what? It don't know anything. Okay. Anyway, this is a, what we can say, function, sorry, method. Just I have tried a dot sort. Sorry. So what happens now? See, If I write in this way, what happens? A is a tuple. So for tuple, sort is not there. Clearly it will say that. See, clearly it is saying what? Tuple object has no attribute, sort. Why it is not there? Reason is, if I apply sort to a tuple, then the tuple has to be modified. Will tuple will be modified? No, tuple will not be modified because it is a immutable. Okay. So a dot sort is not present. We can apply, if you want to sort the elements, we can apply what? Sorted function. Now the concept is, sir, if I want to print in reverse order, yesterday we have seen some method. Same technique can be applied here also. That is what? Sorted of what I want to sort in reverse order. I want to sort which element? A. Okay. A element I have to take, and what I have to write? Reverse equal to true I have to write. Then what happens? Normal sorting order is what? Ascending order. If I write reverse equal to true, reverse of ascending is what? Descending only. So automatically descending order will be printed here. Okay, now see, if I print I, it is going to give what? In descending order, the elements are going to be printed. Directly I can write this one inside a, let us see here, if I am going to take this one inside a print. Okay, right. Now see what happens. The elements are printed in the form of list, so that I have printed in for loop, because every time the sorted function is going to return list of elements. It may be applied on tuple, it may be applied on set, it may be applied on list, it may be applied on string, it may be applied on anything. By default, sorted method is going to return what? List type. So that it is going to return what? List type. So that if we want to print individual elements, better to write in a for loop, so that you will get a individual elements of that list. So if you want to print a descending order, we have to write what? Reverse equal to true. Now the concept is, just I will take, I want to find maximum and minimum elements of the given tuple. Just I have to use two functions. One is min, another one is max. I think same methods can be applied to list also. In yesterday's session, I have not discussed this concept. Anyway, now we can see this one. If I write min and max functions, so max of A. So first, which element has to be printed? First 10 has to be printed. Next maximum element is what? 89 has to be printed as output. So you can observe minimum element and maximum element of the tuple. So let us check for list also whether it is valid or not. Okay. So if I take a list of elements here, just if I execute, so it is going to print 10 and 89. That means what? This min and max is applied for list also. Okay. Now just an important concept is there, 5 minutes concept. I will explain that. That is tuple packing and unpacking. Okay. Tuple packing and unpacking. This is very important concept. Listen carefully. See here, when I am going to write A equal to in this way, what happens? All these elements are going to be packed into A. What is that? Packed into A. That concept is called as what? Tuple packing. Because all, let us take 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. All these elements are going to be packed into A as a tuple. This concept is called as what? Tuple packing. Otherwise, we can take individual elements also like this. A equal to 10, B equal to 20, and C equal to 30 I can take, and directly what can I write? Some T equal to A comma B comma C. Now what I am doing here, I am going to pack group of elements to T. This concept is called as what? Pickling. Sorry, not pickling, packing. So which packing? A tuple packing. Okay. What I am doing? Concept is what? Packing. What I am packing? Group of elements. Group of elements to some variable. That concept is called as what? Packing. Now what is meant by unpacking? What is meant by unpacking? I am having a group of elements. I will give the individual to the, that means what? This is a packing group into a single entity. Now I am dividing that single entity to individual entities. That is, see, how many elements are there here? 3 elements are there. Just I will write A comma B comma C equal to T. Now what happens? See, in a tuple, how many elements are there? 3 elements are there. Now 3 elements will be stored into A, B, C. First element is going to be stored in 10. Second element is going to be stored in 20. Third element is going to be stored in 30. Let us see whether it is happened or not. So something has happened. Let us see what happens. A value 10, B value 20, C value 30. That means what? This concept is what? Unpacking. This concept is what? Packing. Group of elements are stored in a single value variable. That is called as what? Packing. Reverse is what? Unpacking. That means what? I am going to store a single value, single variable into multiple things, multiple variables. This concept is what? Unpacking. Okay. The same concept is applicable for our list also. Okay. For list of elements also it is possible. Okay. So let us see that one for a list. Let us take one small example. For set also it is possible. No problem. 10, 20, 30. Okay. Here this is okay. Now I want to place in some x comma y comma z equal to, I am going to take t. Now what happens? See, if I print x, it is going to give me what? 10, y 20, z 30. So this concept is applicable for list also. So when we go for set, we will see about this set also. For set also, this concept is going to be applied. Okay. So this is very important concept. Right. Last concept of this tuple is tuple comprehension. Yesterday we have seen list comprehension, which is generally used, which is very important concept. Now today we are going to see about tuple comprehension. Okay, tuple comprehension. So here in our Python, there is no concept of tuple comprehension. If you want to perform tuple comprehension, so just I will take one small example and show. Generally, tuple comprehension concept is not possible in our Python. Okay. See how to use this one. So comprehension means what? Everything has to be written inside a single statement. See, just I will take x into x, some expression is taken. After that, I have to take some for loop. Inside this for loop, I am going to take some x in range of some 11. I am going to take, for example. Okay, this is the concept. For everything it has to print. If I print t, what happens? All elements has to be printed here. But what happens if I execute this program? You can see that, see, something is going to be happened. Some object is going to printed. It is which object? Generated object. Okay, so it is not going to act as a tuple. So if I want to make it as a tuple, what I have to do? This is not a just, that means what? Comprehension concept is there, but it is not acting as a tuple. So I can say that comprehension is not possible for the tuple. Then how to make this one as a tuple? Already we are having some function called as what? Tuple function. If I write in this way, what happens? By default, whatever the thing that is going to be created, that will be converted into tuple. Just print this one, you can observe clearly. So now what happens? Directly the values are going to be printed, but the object is here. If I am not going to write tuple type, what happens? It is a generator object. So we will see this concept when we are going for the classes concept. But here what we have to understand, there is no concept of tuple comprehension. If you want to do the comprehension for a tuple, do the concept of comprehension in this way. You can do, where is that? Okay, here it is there, and apply the tuple function to this one, so it will be converted into tuple. But directly there is no concept of tuple comprehension. So this is about tuple concept. Okay, so in next session we are going to see about set and dictionary. Okay, thank you.